widdz here, and in today's video I'm actually gonna be covering a PvP build when it comes to the Division 2. So I don't really play PvP too much, and I mean, in short, I think most people know that I actually never been that big of a fan of Division 2 PvP. Sometimes it can be a bit of fun, but honestly, especially the current meta and especially the way people play it and just the amount of players that play it, it just gets really stale, usually really slow paced, right? But with this build, you can at least try to work against how the game works and make it a bit more fun. So if we start off with the weapon, we have the Bighorn, which is a headshot machine. So this build in particular will be headshot damage focused. And yeah, I mean, I would love to make a crit build, but if you wanna try to make a anti-bullshit build that kinda counters most of the bullshit in PvP, then you have to do some sacrifices. You can't put everything to damage. Going headshot damage, you don't have to go crit, so you can put that into other stats, which we will go through. In case you're wondering how to get the Bighorn, you can get it on legendary difficulty only, meaning legendary missions or legendary summit. Third attribute, you want to get damage to target out of cover. And then we have the talent, right? You're mainly gonna use this as an AR, but if you scope in, it becomes a rifle. Otherwise, it's just an AR. A pretty cool function right there. Other than that, though, it just gives you, yeah, hit head and get damage. Headshot grants 6% headshot damage, which stacks up to 25. Once at full, 10 stacks decay every 4 seconds until all stacks have been removed. Headshots delay decaying of stacks. So as long as you hit head and you stack it up, you will get so much headshot damage. And looking at the weapon mods as well, you have 40 headshot damage. So yeah, it's just a headshot machine. You can land headshots in PvP. This build will be insane for you. Don't really use much here, but I do have a Streamline Lexington, and then I do have an Orbit just to try to kill skills or even players if you can, but mainly skills. You will get the 35 crit chance and 40% critical hit damage, which is pretty huge for this gun since we don't have any crit really. Other than that, this is how the build looks like. I know you guys are completely mind blown. Not really, because this is the same build I played a year ago, and yeah, it still is really good. So we're gonna have a lot of hazard protection, we're gonna have a lot of survivability, a lot of armor regen, and all good of that. So I will go through this version and then also talk about possibilities you can do. So yeah, firstly, let's just get started with Kafaris. So it comes with armor, incoming repairs, and armor regen. We are gonna go armor regen, just that we not gonna go the flat stats. We're gonna get it from brand sets. But yeah, vicious cycle, people hit you and you will get stacks capping up to 30. Each stack grants you 1.5 weapon damage, which is just insane. And then whenever it hits 30, it will trigger a purge, removing all status effects, which is amazing in PvP. And on top of that, dropping a healing cloud, which restores 5% of max armor for 10 seconds, right? And this works for teammates as well. So insane talent for PvP. And honestly, playing PvP with some blues, it's just, I need to have this one because it's just too good if you hate status effects like myself. And of course the damage. Then before we go through the chest piece, we can go through a little bit on core attributes and minor attributes like the stats priority. Every single piece will have a blue core, so 6 blue core build. And attributes are gonna be hazard protection and headshot damage. I don't know why this piece have armor regen, but yeah, it is worth to note where you can skip the hazard completely and just put armor regen everywhere. Even though the value you get from minor attributes are pretty low, it will add up. But as soon as people have like any skills or like the chem launcher that just sticks you in place, then you're definitely gonna regret it. So I think just going hazard protection on every single piece is the way to go, just to counter all the bullshit in the game. But of course, in an ideal world, if nobody uses all the skills and all the bullshit, you just have armor regen on every piece. But that is worth to note. You can decide that yourself. The brand set Bellstone though gives you 1% armor regen, which is what we're looking for, percentage based armor regen. And then hazard protection and headshot damage being the minor attributes you're going for. I would prioritize headshot damage and then try to get hazard. And as I said, armor regen is optional. Unbreakable, pretty good one. But if you're playing in Dark Zone where you actually have more armor kits, Then you have efficient, and in this case you do have a named piece called everyday carrier that have perfect efficient, so 75% chance to not consume an armor kit, which might not sound that good, but I mean, I had times even in conflict when I got like 10 armor kits out of this. So I mean, if you really want to, you can play it in conflict. If you have like 2 armor kits, it might be worth it, and then you swap it. But overall, unbreakable is just more safe. Then secondly, we do have 3 piece of Hillagard. So we get the total armor, we get the health, and 2% armor regen. Really, really strong. Same thing here, hazard protection and headshot damage. I definitely did the expertise the wrong pieces. I'm gonna be looking at that at a later stage though. So yeah, you see I have armor regen pieces on right now. We'll swap that, but hazard, armor regen, and headshot damage. And same thing right here. And then lastly, we do have Matador, which is unnamed Walker and Harris with perfect adrenaline rush. And since I haven't played PvP like since 1 year, and even then I didn't play much, I did use this one in my build, but I never had like a good Murakami. And I know a lot of people used it. So I figured, yeah, so let's just equip the Murakami piece, right? So I did, because you get 1% armor regen. And I didn't really think too much about that. Then I was in Dark Zone, met some PvP players, and they came into my stream, and they kind of talked about it. And after the stream, I just like took like a minute just to like look at it and think about it. And yeah, if you have a Matador, it's just not worth to run this Murakami knee pad, because firstly, you lose 1 slot here. That's 10% hazard you lose. And on top of that, you don't get any good brand set. Skill duration is not going to help you in PvP. And if you take a look at Matador, you get the hazard protection, you get the 5% weapon damage. So you don't get that from Murakami. You do get 1% armor regen though. But perfect adrenaline rush is 23% bonus armor instead of 20. So even if there's just 1 player, I did the calculation for this. I think it's like, if you have 2 million armor, you get around 12,000 armor per second, while Murakami would be 20,000. I'm not 100% sure about these numbers, but it's somewhere around there. Which, yeah, if there's 1 player, that is beneficial armor regen wise with Murakami, but you're still losing 5 weapon damage and 10% hazard. But if there's 2 players, then you get the double effect, right? Which means instead of 12k, you will get 24k armor per second. And already there, it's beating the Murakami one. And you add 3 people into that, then it's around 36,000 versus 20k on the Murakami. And on top of that, 10% more hazard and 5% more weapon damage. So Matador is in all cases, I would say, just a better choice. So definitely try to get a Matador. If you can't, then I would recommend to use like a Fenris. Like, I don't think Murakami is really worth it. And yeah, I mean, Matador is a PvP exclusive item. You can get it in Dark Zone from conflict caches, countdown caches. I think 2 weeks ago there was like a perfect one being sold from vendors, so always check the vendors. And I mean, eventually you will get it. 70. We would be at 90% hazard protection, I guess. And I mean, I guess if you really wanted to hit 100, then you just go a Yaw piece, right? Just go a Yaw. In terms of skills, it really depends on what content you do though, but I think there's a few good skills here. Personally, Dark Zone, I mean, Decoy is good because they can't see your HP. They can't see your nameplate with the HP, so that's a pretty good option. I think in Dark Zone as well, just having Pulse to get the information. It's really good too, because short cooldown. You could definitely skip both of those though, and you could maybe have a big shield, or even like a striker shield for that extra damage. Keep in mind the shield will break really quick, even though it's tier 6 in PvP. The big shield, actually, like I did use it a bit in conflict to try, and when I was playing armor regen and I would get stuck by the cum launcher, whatever it's called, I would just pull out the shield and I would just tank it, right? So that is an interesting way to do it as well. Then of course you can use like sticky EMP, and you can also join the meta, which I did try a little bit. Use, yeah, riot foam it's called, right? And surprisingly, like, I thought it's 2 seconds duration in PvP, and I thought it would be way too slow, but I tried a little bit, and I mean, those 2 seconds, I did kill some people just in one foam. Super cheesy though, but I mean, with all the bullshit going on in the game, and if you are playing Hazard yourself, then yeah, I mean, they could literally just play hazard protection as well, and then this wouldn't do much at all, right? So if they are forcing me to use hazard protection, then I might as well force them to use it, and if they not, then they get fucked, right? But yeah, that's kind of the build. And if we quickly look through specialization, PvP-wise, Firewall is really good. You do have the armor kit that heals 200% over time, which is extremely beneficial to use in PvP, especially in combination with efficient talent that we went through earlier. And then just make sure you get the assault rifle damage, and then you kind of set. But yeah, that's what I've been running in PvP. I definitely have a few more PvP builds I want to do. Maybe I will revisit the Umbra one. But I think next up PvP-wise, it's gonna be pistol one-shotting. But with that said, I hope you guys find this video useful. And if you are interested in more Division 2 videos like this, then make sure to hit the subscribe button. You can catch me live at twitch.tv/widdz, or I will see you guys in the next YouTube video.